Welcome to Bridges to Alignment with Britt Bridges, Wellness Reimagined. This is a safe, transformative space where we explore energy healing, natural wellness, and the connection between mind, body, and soul. Through light, sound, and intention, you'll discover practical ways to align your energy, heal from within, and reconnect with your deepest self. This is your bridge to healing. This is your bridge to alignment.
Hello and welcome to Bridges to Alignment, Wellness Reimagined. I am your host, Britt Bridges. I am honored to be in your presence today. Thank you for your time and your energy. I am just always excited to join you guys. And though you're not in front of me right now in person in the physical, know that energetically I feel you and you are here with me. And so know that this is a safe healing container for you to engage, be a part of this, comment if you have a contribution to make, and know that this is a community of like-minded, open-minded individuals who are wanting to learn. And so this safe container is all about energy healing and how we can use energy to our advantage to heal our mind, body, soul, to connect us to our higher consciousness, to learn ways to regulate our nervous system, because when we are constantly going, it's hard to live a healthy lifestyle when our nervous system is constantly dysregulated. So that's what we talk about here in this space. And it is my goal every episode to give you things that you can do at home, okay? And things that are free, because that's really important as well. And so a little bit about me, for those of you that don't know, I have a degree in mass communications, and I previously worked in the marketing and hospitality and nonprofit management industry, became a stay-at-home mom, and then now a Reiki master working with energy. And so it is my passion to talk about energy and to educate folks on our energetic body. So that's what we're going to talk about today, are our chakras. We have 7 main chakras. And those chakras are our energy centers within our electromagnetic field or our electrical body. And last week we covered the 3 lower chakras. We covered the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. And now today we're moving up the energy body into the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, which is what we're going to talk about today. But first, before we deep dive into all that fun content, let's regulate our nervous system. Let's get comfortable. You find a comfortable space, grab a drink. This is a very, casual space. We keep things real around here. I am going to say trigger warning, because sometimes we will talk about things that, may trigger you or memories or, so just know that this is a safe container for you to express those emotions if you need to, which in fact, I encourage you to express your emotions, because that's the point of what we're talking about today, our chakras and how emotions really impact us. I'm going to put out this incense. This incense I was using to cleanse and purify the space. So this is a safe, protected space. It's been cleansed. We also have our spirit guides here with us as well. If you have any spirit guides that you want to invite in, and spirit guides can be angels or, just higher power, divine light, or anybody that, you work with, maybe some ancestors that you work with closely. If you want to call them in to support you as well, because I have done that here in this space. So it is completely safe. Oh, I thought I put this out. I feel like we're kind of getting a little smoked out of here, which, it's fine because it's cleansing the space. What it does is sage and incense The reason it protects the space is because it actually comes from nature, right? And so this and sage, it is vibrating at a frequency of nature, and nature has a healing frequency. And when the smoke is burning off of the incense or the sage, it actually acts as like a binder for the energy that's in the air. So if there's anything low frequency, it will neutralize that. It will pick it up like a binder does, and it will move it out of the space and be transmuted into, I always transmute into unconditional love and light. And so definitely in a future episode, we're going to be talking about how transmutation and alchemization works. So stay tuned for that. But it's always a good idea to transmute any negative energy that you're cleansing into positive, higher frequencies of love and light. That way you are setting the intentions and raising that frequency, because that's always the goal, is we want to raise our frequency. Raising our frequency means reaching a higher consciousness, a higher awareness, a higher state of emotional intelligence. All right. So let's first start by getting comfortable. And what I want to do now is I want to do a quick exercise with you, quick breathing exercise. And it's going to be a heart-brain coherence breathing. So what we're going to do is, our goal is we want to aim to connect our heart to our mind and to our nervous system. Okay. And by doing that, what it's doing is it's connecting those three major systems for there to be balance and harmony. Because whenever we're making decisions in life, it is best that we are doing it from a place of our heart and our mind and a regulated nervous system. When we're making decisions out of a dysregulated nervous system or fight or flight, we tend to make mistakes, or we tend to rush, and it isn't perhaps what our intuition or our higher self is guiding us to do. So that's what we're going to do today. And this is a really great exercise that you can do at home, and you can even do it before interviews, before your day starts, when you first wake up in the morning, anytime you need to calm your nervous system. So you're going to get comfortable, and I want you to take a deep breath in for 7 seconds. And imagine that when you get to the top of that breath, imagine it in your mind. And then exhale, and then that energy pulls down into your heart. And another inhale for 7 seconds up to your mind. And an exhale, 7 seconds back down to your heart. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, 7 seconds. And exhale, 7 seconds, back down to your heart. And notice how I was making this infinity symbol. By imagining that infinity symbol or drawing it with my hand, I am creating a circuit, an electrical circuit, a neural pathway in my body. And that is me connecting a neural pathway from my heart and my brain and my nervous system to all connect. So I can be here with you today, present, calm, and ready to share what the divine has for us today. Okay? And when I say the divine, take what resonates and leave the rest. I always say that with all this content is, please have an open mind, but take what resonates and leave the rest. You can actually say that whenever you're watching any kind of content, whether you're scrolling on Instagram, watching YouTube videos, always say, God, higher power, I ask to only take what is meant for me and I leave the rest, or something along those lines, because not everything that you're consuming is meant for you, okay? So just always remember that. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is our chakra system. For those of you that joined us in our previous episode where we talked about our three main lower chakras, we're now going to be talking about our four major upper chakras. And that's going to be the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. And I'm not going to deep dive too much into the electrical system, the electromagnetic field that we exist in, because you can find that on episode 1 where we talk about the basics of energy. But essentially, I have here, this is what our bodies have around us. It's called an electromagnetic field. It's the same field that surrounds our planet. Every living being, even things existing in nature, have an electromagnetic field around us. If you go and research the basic principles of quantum physics, it states that everything is sound and light, and that it doesn't become matter until we set intentions for whatever it is we are thinking. So any type of light and sound, once we say, okay, I want to create this in my reality, we think it, and then those tiny little particles of light and sound will then start vibrating at a frequency to become matter. And so that is a really important concept when we're talking about energy healing, that we truly are energy, all of us. We are all energy. Okay. And so when we're thinking in terms of that, we then can start to break down our energy body. And how we do that is there are 7 main chakras that exist in our bodies. Chakras are essentially our energy centers. Okay. And those energy centers store our bodily systems within them. We actually have, I've been taught and shown over 144 chakras within our body, but today we're just going to talk about the 7 main chakras. And how the chakras receive energy flowing through them is through our major meridians that flow through our body. And think of the major meridians as highways for energy to travel, right? And think of our chakras almost like an electrical board, right? Or think of lighting. So say there's electricity running through the wiring for lights. Well, say there's a blockage within that cord. And if there's a blockage in that cord, the light will not operate. It won't work. And so I want you to think of the body the same as that. So if energy gets stuck or stagnant or blocked within the body, then it's not going to function correctly. Something's going to turn off or malfunction. And so that's why the energy centers are so important, because we want to keep energy constantly flowing through our bodies.
Looking for something fun and local? Join the Spring Bloom Art and Garden Pop-Up, Friday, May 1st from 3:30 to 8:30 at Give Rise Studio in downtown Frederick. Shop unique art, handmade goods, and garden-inspired finds. Free event. Grab your spot now on Eventbrite.
Sponsored by A&S Construction is a local and award-winning woman and minority-owned business located right here in Frederick, servicing Frederick County and surrounding areas. A&S Construction specialize in roofing and siding, windows and gutters, and they can even build you a new patio or deck. Call 301-703-2157 or email info@ansconstruction.net. You can get $750 off any roof or siding replacement or $50 off any roof repairs. Just tell Sandra that Danny sent you.
When energy gets stuck or blocked within our bodies, it causes dis-ease or disease in the body. It starts to manifest in the physical as diseases and disorders. So that's why it's so important that we are paying attention to our energetic hygiene, that we are constantly cleansing and protecting our energetic field and doing chakra balancing in order to promote a healthy flow of energy through the body. When energy is flowing fluidly through the body and our chakras are balanced, we experience a state of homeostasis. Drop in the comments if you know what that means. So homeostasis is essentially the state in which the body reaches the best possible scenario for healing. It's when our body starts to heal itself. It's the lowest point in the quantum field. So this magic place can be reached when we have good energetic hygiene, when we're balancing our chakras. And when we're talking about chakras, the really important thing to talk about is what causes blockages within our chakras. And one of the main things is going to be toxins. Toxins are a major energetic blockage that we face daily. And as you know, we're bombarded with them, right? And so what happens with toxins is essentially they are vibrating at a low frequency. And that low frequency gets into our energetic body and it causes blockages. So we're talking EMFs, right? From our electronics, from the internet, from the 5G and 6G towers. We're talking toxins in our beauty products and our household products. So being mindful that we are reducing toxins in our life is a huge part of having a healthy, energetic body where energy is flowing so we can prevent blockages. And we're going to talk more about that here as we talk about the specific upper chakras and what are some different ways that we can move those blockages out. And then another major contributor to chakras becoming imbalanced or blocked, and when I say imbalanced, there could be an overactive chakra and an underactive chakra. And so the goal is we want it to be balanced, right? Pretty much everything in nature, everything that exists within this realm has to have a balance, okay? And that's going to be emotions. Emotions means energy in motion. And when emotions get blocked within our energy body, within our energy centers, our chakras, we experience disease in those different parts of our body. So if we have suppressed emotions, trauma that we never healed, and I'm talking trauma that can come from childhood trauma, adulthood trauma, previous life trauma, if you believe in reincarnation, also epigenetics, right, from our genes, bringing in trauma from our lineage and our ancestors. That's another way that our chakras can get blocked with emotional blockages. And so that's why it's so important that we are being mindful and always setting intentions to balance our chakras. And that's what we're going to talk about more today, is how you can do this all from home. Okay. So I have here this awesome worksheet that you can print if you go to my website, willowell.org. You can also find it in the description. I have here a really great resource that you can print and put on your fridge. And essentially it talks about the 7 main chakras, what different parts of the body that they correspond with, what a imbalanced chakra looks like, and then how to balance them. And you can do all this at home free, okay? It's my goal to help you guys heal your own body energetically for free. Now, if you feel called, I work with life force energy, which is the energy that is around us and within us, the ether. And that energy sometimes can get blocked in there. And if you don't feel like you are able to get some of those blockages out, which is completely understandable, especially if you're new with working with energy, my specialization is that I am able to tap into the quantum field and assist you with intentions and move that energy that is stuck, stagnant, or blocked through your energetic body to create balance and harmony. So if you feel called and you think you need something like that, please check out my website and book a one-on-one. We'd love to work with you. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about first the heart chakra, which I think, in my opinion, is the most important chakra. And that's because our heart has a very high frequency. In fact, it actually can, the electromagnetic field of our heart can actually expand further than the electromagnetic field of our body when it is balanced and fully activated. It's really fascinating. That's why love is the most powerful frequency, right? That's the frequency of our higher power, of the divine, of the universe. And so the heart chakra is the bridge between the lower chakras and the upper chakras. And so I want you to think of the chakras also when they start at the lower part. This is going to be more our physical world. That's the root chakra, the sacral chakra, right here, our lower abdomen, and our solar plexus, our upper abdomen. Those are going to be more to do with our 3D world, in the physical world, in our finances, and our family, and the things that we can touch and feel. And then above our heart is going to be the things that are of higher consciousness, higher frequencies that you necessarily can't touch and feel, but instead they're at a higher frequency, making them more spiritual, so to speak. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. But with the heart chakra is most associated with the color green. And so the colors are important because remember how I mentioned earlier that we are all light and sound? Well, light actually is a bunch of different colors. It's a spectrum of colors. And green is most associated with the heart chakra. And that's why you'll see people wearing green to help balance the heart chakra, or they'll wear, the crystal jade, or they'll, any green stones. Anytime you eat green, nutrient-dense type of foods, all of that contains that higher frequency of the heart chakra, and it helps to balance it. So remember that. The color green is associated with the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, physically on the body, is going to be your chest and your shoulders. It's going to include your lungs. And it's going to include your, what else? Is that everything? The shoulders, the thymus glands, the arms, and the hands. Okay? So if you're having any malfunctions with these parts of your body, that is your indicator that it is time to balance the heart chakra. And I talk about the heart chakra too because the heart chakra controls our circulatory system and the breath and the air, the inhalation and the exhalation, which is literally life for us, right? We wouldn't be alive if we didn't have our lungs to breathe in and out the breath of the universe, higher power, to breathe in and out of us. And all that resides in the heart. And that's why it's such an important chakra. And with this, when you have a balanced heart chakra, you're going to be feeling love in everything. You're going to feel connected with nature, with your loved ones, with people, with strangers. You're going to have empathy. You're going to have compassion. Okay. And so think of it when you're the opposite of that, right? So what are some emotions that you may be experiencing that indicate that you have an imbalanced heart chakra? So that's going to be feelings of heartbreak, betrayal, hatred, fear. Abandonment is a big one. Trauma that is related to abandonment or betrayal or heartbreak are a lot of the most common ones. Grief, that's another emotion that we experience that imbalances the heart chakra. And of course, we're humans, so we are meant to be experiencing all these emotions, but we are not actually meant to be suppressing it and holding on to it. And when those emotions get stuck in there, then that's when we start experiencing malfunctions in those parts of our body. So what are some of the things that you might see that physically manifest in terms of like dis-ease or disorders in the body? So any cardiovascular type of conditions, blood pressure, high or low blood pressure type of conditions, anything to do with your lungs, if you're experiencing tension in your shoulders or your chest, that is indicating that you have an imbalance in your heart chakra. If you have any wrist type of things, if you experience shortness of breath, these are all indicators of a heart chakra needing your attention. And so this is the part I love, because now I get to tell you how you get to balance it. So because we are light and sound, the best way that we can balance it is with sound. And so YouTube is an amazing resource. If you go on YouTube and you look up sound healing frequency for the heart chakra, it will pull up a specific frequency. And typically it's 639 is the frequency that is most associated with the heart chakra. And they embed that frequency in the music. And that frequency has an effect, a physiological and physical effect on our bodily system, on our electrical system. It's a resonance. It's a sound that our body resonates with as positive, as high frequency, as a healing frequency. So listening to that is a great way. I love when I'm driving in my car, I'll put that on in the background, or I'm at home cleaning or cooking, I'll put these healing frequencies on in the background. And make sure you always listen to these frequencies at a lower volume. They're not meant to be blasted. They're meant to be at a lower volume, so that way your ears can pick up the subtle sounds of those frequencies. That's really important. And some other ways is, I don't know if you've ever heard of mantras, but mantras are sounds that you can make similar to humming that produce a frequency or a sound resonance within that different body part that will promote the balancing of specific chakras. So for example, for the heart, that mantra is yum, which I love. Yum. Then if we add the hand mudras are amazing because the hand mudras essentially create electrical circuits within our electrical body. So when we put our hands in specific positions, it allows for electricity to create a circuit or a neural pathway to amplify the healing of that chakra. So if you say yum, and then we add, this is the hand mudra I use for my heart chakra. I put it right in front of my heart chakra. And what I do is I like to breathe in, exhale, saying the mantra, yum. And I'll usually do that for 3 to 5 minutes if I'm working on a specific chakra, or I'll just do 3 to 5 minutes and I'll run through my entire chakra system. So it's just a matter of what you're doing and what you're working on, but I highly recommend that. This has been an effective tool for me to balance my chakras using the mantras and the hand mudras. You can also work with crystals. Crystals hold frequencies from Earth, and the different colored crystals hold frequencies that balance the chakras. So again, jade is a great one to utilize for the heart chakra. Also rose quartz, because sometimes pink is associated with the heart chakra as well. Rose quartz is another really great one for the heart chakra. Okay, great. So now we're going to move on to our throat chakra. Now, raise your hand if you have trouble with public speaking. Raise your hand if you have trouble speaking your truth to people, right? So these are common signs of an imbalanced throat chakra. And the throat chakra is associated with the color light blue, okay? So remember that. You can wear light blue clothing or eat light blue nutrient-dense foods to assist with this. So I say blueberries. I mean, they're not light blue, but they carry that blue color frequency. So that's a good one to eat with. Are there any other light blue foods out there? You have to drop it in the comments. Maybe that are nutrient dense, right? When I say nutrient dense, I mean they literally come out of planet Earth, right? Grown in the soil from planet Earth. And so the throat chakra is located, well, I would say, this one's a little bit more obvious, but it's in your whole area of your neck. So it's going to be your throat, your larynx. It's going to be your thyroid glands. It's going to be even your mouth, even your teeth are associated with the throat chakra, even your jaw. So when you're experiencing, if you ever experience that like tight jaw, anxious feeling, that is associated with the throat chakra. So now you know this is a great chakra that you can balance when you want to loosen up the jaw. It's also associated with the shoulders. So, if you're feeling tension that goes from, your face down your neck into your shoulders, that can also be an indicator of an imbalanced throat chakra. And so when a throat chakra is imbalanced, it can manifest as sore throat, thyroid issues, hoarseness of the voice, endocrine type of disorders in the body. And when I say endocrine, autoimmune type of disorders. And so I like rashes, like eczema is one that is associated with the throat chakra. So, and I know that affects a lot of people. So definitely take note of that. It's also going to be manifest as poor rhythm, fear of speaking, gossiping. That's a big one. So if you find yourself gossiping a lot or partaking in that is a imbalanced throat chakra. Also, being inauthentic, lying, and being inauthentic goes back to, you not speaking your truth. You're not expressing yourself authentically because of whatever reason, right? You're trying to fit in, or you don't think the person will like you if you don't say it. Well, that creates an imbalance in our body when we withhold our truth inside of us, and that causes blockages. And so what does that look like in terms of if it's a balanced throat chakra? So that's going to be seen more as like a good listener, resonant voice, speaking your truth, living authentically, clear communicator, being able to express yourself creatively. That's a big one too. And ways that we can balance this is we can use the mantra hum, H-U-M, hum. And Goodness. Hopefully that's not been affecting the microphone. All right. So the hand mudra that you can pair with the mantra is you take your two hands, stick them together, intertwine your fingers like this, put your index finger and your thumb together and your index finger and your thumb together like that, and you put it right in front of your throat chakra and you say, hum. And I like to do the same thing where I inhale, and on the exhale I say hum. And I will imagine and I meant to say this for the heart chakra. So in our energy centers, I want you to imagine them like discs, gently spinning. So we want to imagine a light blue or blue disc gently spinning in the throat chakra. That's another way to balance it, because when you're envisioning that disc spinning, it's actually helping to move with your intentions the energy in that energy center. So hum. And again, do this as long as you would like, or as long as where you start to feel that tension releasing from your throat chakra. You can also work with blue crystals. This is lapis lazuli. This is great for your throat chakra. Again, it holds a frequency that amplifies the healing of that specific chakra, which is so neat. So any blue colored crystals are great. And listening to sound healing frequency 741. So again, Spotify, YouTube, whatever your music provider is, plug that in, listen to it on a low volume in the background. And breathwork and meditation, guys. Breathwork, I can't express enough how effective breathwork and meditation is. If you are not doing meditation, I invite you to challenge yourself to try it. There's an episode where I deep dive into meditation and give you some pointers on how to develop a meditation practice for you. Really, the purpose of meditation is you want to make it fun. That's so important. And you want it to be the least amount of limitations as possible. So in other words, remove all the beliefs that you've had on meditation, because it isn't what you think. It isn't just sitting crisscross applesauce with hand mudras, saying mantras. That isn't meditation. That is a form of meditation, but there are 100 different forms of meditation. You could lay down, close your eyes in your bed, comfortable, and meditate. You can walk in nature, walk and run or jog in nature, and that's a form of meditation. You can work out at the gym, and that's a form of meditation. But the goal is that you want to find a place in your mind that you feel safe, that you have quieted the mind, and that you are at peace, and that you are at the least amount of resistance possible in the body. Okay? So meditation is the most underutilized healing modality that's ever existed. So I do encourage you, check out that episode on meditation. Drop in the comments if you meditate and share how awesome and amazing it is. Share your positive feedback on it. Let's encourage our brothers and sisters and this community to utilize meditation, because it will change your life. And think of it like building a muscle, right? 5 minutes every day the first week, move up to 10 minutes every day the second week, move up to 15 minutes every day the third week, and then move up to 30 minutes every day the fourth week. And to me, that's the sweet spot, is 30 minutes. All right, third eye chakra. So that's going to be here in between your eyebrows. And the third eye is also known as the pineal gland. Tell me if you've heard of the pineal gland. Would love to know who is aware of that. The pineal gland is very powerful. It is most often attacked by toxins, in particular fluoride. So making sure that you are drinking filtered water that does not contain fluoride. Even me personally, I don't even use toothpaste that contains fluoride. Now, I've never had any dental issues since switching to no fluoride toothpaste, but use your discernment. But fluoride is the number one cause of a calcified pineal gland. So just be mindful of that. And so the third eye is associated with the color indigo, or like a royal color blue. And it is going to be where the body parts that are associated with this are going to be your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, and your ears, your eyes, your nose. So those are important things to remember. So if you're experiencing vision issues, that's something that you can work on, is balancing your third eye. If you're experiencing hearing impairments, that the third eye is a great chakra to balance. And what are some of the imbalances or some of the physical manifestations that occur when there are imbalances? And that is headaches, vision problems, difficulty concentrating, nightmares. That's a big one, nightmares, migraines, endocrine imbalances, insomnia, seizures, denial of the truth, disconnected to yourself, lack of imagination. And a big one is indecision. Indecision is most often associated with our third eye and our crown chakra. Also, if you feel like you have your heads up in the clouds too much, like you're a little too on a higher consciousness, that is an overactive third eye. So you want to ground yourself and create balance and harmony within that chakra. And so what does a balanced third eye look like? A balanced third eye will look like sharp intuition, sharp discernment. So your ability to quickly trust your instinct and know, okay, this is the right decision, or I'm confident in my decision. I know this is the right decision. Vivid dreams, imagination, using your imagination, being able to visualize in your third eye or your mind, visualizing things. All right, so how can we balance this chakra? We can use the mantra Sham, S-H-M, Sham, and then we can pair it with the mudra, the hand mudra. Take your thumb, take your index finger, put it together. Same this side. And go Sham. So I breathe in. On the exhale, Sham. And if you're feeling advantageous, you can envision the indigo blue disc gently spinning in your third eye as you say Sham. And do this for as long as you need. And again, not doing it at all is not progressing you. Doing it, even if it's a short amount of time, know that that is beneficial for you. Even if you only can do it 3 times, that's okay, because that is the frequency that your body is receiving to balance, and it's all energy. So it will work. It is effective, even if you do it in small increments. Okay. So we do Sham. Going in nature, I mean, that's pretty much going to balance all your chakras, because the nature frequencies are natural balancing to our bodies, because it's a natural resonance to Earth, Mother Gaia, Creator. Okay, so going out into nature, you can work with selenite, you can work with amethyst is a big one for the third eye, to amplify the balancing and healing of that chakra. And meditation. Meditation is your number one for your third eye. That is, in my opinion, the most powerful for opening up your third eye, because a lot of what you're doing in meditation is you're going to get visualizations. You're going to be able to connect inwardly to your higher self, to creator, to God, to your inner divinity, to higher power. Okay. Last but not least is our crown chakra. Our crown chakra is going to be where our crown would sit on our head, the top of our head. This is associated with the color white, light purple, or golden light, golden color. And the body parts that are associated with the crown are going to be your endocrine system, your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your hypothalamus, your neurological system. You have to remember that everything is connected to your spine, from your head all the way down to your root chakra, your lower, the base of your spine. Okay. And so if you're experienced any neurological disorders, if you're experiencing restless leg syndrome, that's neurological. If you're experiencing cognitive stuff, such as amnesia or Alzheimer's, or anything related to memory, this is all going to be signs of an imbalanced crown chakra. Also, a big one is if you're feeling disconnected from Earth, disconnected from people on this planet, disconnected from loved ones, if you're experiencing depression, if you're experiencing lack of belonging to something greater than you, those are going to be signs of a imbalanced crown chakra. Rigid thoughts, analysis paralysis, indecision. If you're having difficulty making decisions in life, that's going to be your crown chakra as well. Constant fear of alienation. If you're not feeling grounded, that is a big sign that your crown chakra is overactive, because if you have your head up in the clouds and you're feeling a little too flighty, you need to ground yourself down to balance, right? To create balance within that chakra. And so ways that we can balance the crown chakra are going to be meditation, first and foremost. Secondly, the mantra is going to be Om. Okay, so OM, Om, and the hand mudra that is linked with that mantra is going to be your thumb and your pinky, thumb and your pinky. I'm sorry, and your ring finger, thumb, and pinky. There we go. Ring finger, thumb, and your pinky, like this. Kind of like a rabbit, right? When you're doing the shadow puppets. And then it's going to be, somebody shared this with me who has studied mantras and Ayurvedic medicine. And she shared that to pronounce Om properly, you actually start with an A sound in the beginning and you round it off with the O. So this is how it sounds. So take a deep inhale in. Exhale. And if you want to add that gentle spinning disc in your crown chakra, and envisioning the color white, golden, or light purple. All right, wonderful. And then also grounding. Grounding is great. Grounding in nature is great for balancing your crown chakra, as well as listening to Healing Frequency 963 and eating or wearing purple foods. Well, let me try to say that again. Wearing purple or eating nutrient-dense purple foods, such as eggplant and purple tomatoes and, things like that. So I'm so glad that we got to work together today on these chakras, guys. I'm telling you, this is free energy healing. You can become your own healer. You are capable of being your own healer. And that is my purpose on this planet, is to empower you to take responsibility for your wellness, for your energetic body. Understand that you have way more power than you believe you do. And that is because the system that we live in, a person that is equipped and knows that they can heal their own body with energy is not profitable. And that's why Western medicine doesn't want us to utilize these different exercises to move energy through our body. But I'm telling you right now, this is the key. This is the trick. This is what you've been waiting for, to transform your health, to become a better you, to become empowered, to raise in frequency, to align more with what is the desires of your heart. Okay, so comment below, try this stuff, let me know how it is, share this with those you love, those you care about. We got to get this out. This is a movement. This energy healing is a movement, and it's simply a remembrance. All of this stuff has been done before. We're just remembering that we are very powerful co-creators with the divine. And I'm excited to have you guys on the future episodes of Bridges to Alignment, Wellness Reimagined. As always, I'm so grateful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care of yourself. Namaste.
Thanks for joining Britt Bridges on Bridges to Alignment. If this message spoke to you, be sure to like and subscribe for more conversations on energy healing, natural wellness, and living in alignment with your highest self. Bridges to Alignment is proudly part of the Everything Frederick Live podcast network and can be rewatched anytime on the Everything Frederick Live YouTube channel. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and keep aligning with the life you were meant to live.
This episode is a proud production of the Everything Frederick Live podcast network. Your home for Frederick's best podcasts, streaming daily on YouTube.